Faeria is a card game that combines elements of some of the most popular entries in the genre into a beautiful and fun card game that's enjoyable and rather forgiving to new players. I'm Colton from MMOHuts.com, and here's our first look at Faeria. Faeria is a digital card game that borrows elements from some massive card game veterans, as well as newcomers to the genre like Duelist, to create a unique feeling experience that is pure joy to play. Players construct decks based on one or more of four colors, red, yellow, green, and blue, and try to murder each other. Standard card game stuff, right? Well, that's where they turn the formula on its head. The game offers grid-based movement and combat similar to Duelist. Also like Duelist, there are mana points that can be contested and when controlled offer additional resources to the controlling player. There's a twist to the grid though. Players have to play land to create the board. The land doesn't cost any resources. Each turn you can play 2 generic lands connected to land you already control. You can sub your 2 generic lands for 1 special land of any type. This is where it borrows from Magic, as some creatures require you to have a certain number of their land type before they can be played, and then they can only be initially summoned on that land type. This summoning mechanic will feel familiar to anyone who has watched the Dungeon Dice Monsters arc of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or played the Dungeon Dice Monsters video game or tabletop game. The strategy lies as much in how you build the board as it does in how you move on it. Also, the Faeria resource system in this game is pretty forgiving to newer players. Each turn you're given 3 Faeria or mana to play, and they don't expire if you don't use them, so you can save them up for a big play on a later turn if you need to. Between this, the ability to forego playing a land to gain additional resources, and the capturable Faeria Springs, I rarely ever had a turn where I couldn't play a card. I never felt mana screwed because resources and the mana curve on the cards is so manageable. The deck building system is also pretty forgiving. It's easy to build a functioning deck with an incomplete collection without the initial lose every game to grind resources so you can buy cards that some other card games force you into. Each color deck has their own play style, and they do feel similar to their Magic the Gathering counterparts in some ways. Red is all about direct damage and burn spells. Green is about massive beef machines that grow exponentially in power. Yellow excels at rushdown gameplay, much like white decks in Magic. Blue is kind of unique in that they have creatures that can ignore spaces that don't have land on them, and they also focus on control and combo gameplay. The game's art direction is beautiful. The art on the cards is incredibly well done, the board backgrounds, the UI, and the avatars are all very stylized and fit the theme well. It's absolutely gorgeous. Faeria features an in-game shop where packs can be bought with in-game gold or with gems, the game's real-world currency. The exchange rate is 250 gems for $1 US. One pack is exactly 250 gems. At 5 cards a pack, this is a pretty fair exchange rate. If you're wanting to spend money to unlock cards, there are also pack bundles that can save you a few bucks. If you're planning on using in-game gold earned from completing quests, story missions, puzzles, and PvP gameplay, you're looking at about 1,000 gold per pack. Gold in the early going came quickly. I had enough to buy a pack or 2 by the time I was done with the tutorial. Packs are also rewarded for progress in the mission packs and leveling up, so your collection won't be too hard to grow. Mythic chests are another offering in this store which costs 750 gems but contain cosmetic items for the game like avatars, board modifications, and card backs. Nothing gameplay changing, but if you really enjoy the game and want to support it, it's a nice way to visually enhance and customize an already beautiful game. There's a crafting system for obtaining cards too, which uses its own resource called Memoria. As you may have guessed, you earn it from disenchanting cards you don't want. The exchange rate is what you'd expect. Cards disenchant for a fraction of their crafting cost, but since most of the cards you'll disenchant are ones you don't want to use, it balances out. The rarer the card, the more it disenchants for. It's a simple, tried and tested method for getting the exact cards you want, but it does take time. Faeria is a fantastic twist on the card game genre that's as fun to play as it is to look at. The crafting system can be a bit of a grind, but it does mean you get to play more of the game, and the gameplay is forgiving enough that you won't get utterly destroyed for your first 50 games. If you're a fan of CCGs or ever thought about trying one, this is definitely the one to try. Well, that's all for today. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and keep it locked on MMOHuts.com for all the latest gaming news and reviews.